Houston, we got a problem here. I repeat. Houston, we got a problem here. What's up, guys, and welcome to my review of I.S.S., a space drama, basically. A film that I have not heard of at all up until about a month and a half, 2 months ago, when a friend of mine had shared the trailer with me. And as soon as I watched it, I was sort of hooked. Yeah, it looked pretty interesting. Granted, I knew it wasn't going to be one of those that would have just wowed me, but it did look interesting. It looked like it had an interesting premise. Thank you so much, guys, for clicking here. As always, I really do appreciate it. So basically, you have these astronauts who is running the International Space Station. 3 Russians and then 3 Americans. And a war breaks out on Earth, which creates a lot of tense-filled moments, trust issues, and dangerous situations. That's basically what this is. It's a kind of a space soft drama. From the get-go, I knew this wasn't going to be for me. I knew it wasn't going to be 100% for me, but there was certain moments in it that I did enjoy, that I did savor. This isn't something to get overly excited about, but it is pretty interesting. There were certain aspects to this film that I did really enjoy. So starting off with the positives, I do gotta say, visually, I thought the movie was astounding. With the shots of the Earth, and especially when chaos was erupting down here, and just the shots of space and the space station itself, the enclosed area shots, and with the camera angles, I loved what they did there. It's like with the camera angles, since everybody was floating in space, everything was floating, and they wanted to seem like the camera was floating too. They wanted to put the audience right in there with the characters, and that's how I actually felt. I mean, going back to the visual, that was done really well within itself, but with the camera angles, that was really clever. I thought they pulled that off pretty good. And speaking of the visualization, I'm not really sure, I can't confirm this, but the theater manager of the theater that I went to go see this at said that this had actually won Best Picture for visualization. I'm not sure if that's true, but I can believe it. I thought it was done really beautiful, done very well, not to mention the camera work. Sort of like how IMAX tries to do. Now, this isn't an IMAX movie by any means. Small budget, but it was done really well. And speaking of that, for a small budget movie, I thought the effects was done really well. And this goes back to what everybody was saying about Godzilla -1, which I don't plan on seeing that. Maybe I will sometime in the future. But how everything was done right in that, everything was done right in this as well. For a mediocre budget, you film a movie in space with a big, green screen in the back, which I'm pretty sure that's all this movie was. And it was still done really well with its effects. It didn't look cheesy. It didn't look, just cash grabbish or bad. I thought they'd done it really well, especially for the mediocre budget that they had. And this is what I mentioned before about how good the story was. Because you basically have this war that's erupting on Earth between Russia and the U.S., and you see all these nukes going off from a distance, which, again, going back to the visualization, that looked cool in itself. You find out that the two sets, the Americans and the Russians, they both get messages from their superiors telling them to take over this space station by any means necessary. And from then on, I felt like the movie went at a really solid pace, because you have this person trying to figure out what the other person is doing, and the other person is trying to figure out what this person is doing, and trying to differentiate on whether or not you can trust each other, and it just turns into this kind of a chaotic feel in this claustrophobic area, which I always find intriguing. But it's just that mystery of what is this person planning, and what is this other person planning different from what this person is planning. With all this stuff that's going on, it's like you don't know who to trust. And I feel like that's where the tension felt part of this movie really comes into play really nice. And it really makes you beg for more, because the more the movie explores that, the more intrigued you get, or at least I got anyway. What is he doing over there? What is she doing over there? What is she gonna do to him? What is he gonna do to her? You build up with a lot of questions in your head, which the film really succeeds at doing, which keeps it really tense, which keeps you on the edge of your seat. And I thought the film did a really good job in that aspect. And I liked how they kept it so grounded that even though you knew chaos was erupting down here on Earth, it never shows it. You just see it from a distance. And I like that. The most you get from here on Earth after all that is happening is the messages that these people get from their superiors. That's all you get. And I like that. I like how it kept it grounded. And it just kept it real tight-knit to where the story only focuses on these characters up here in space. And that's it. Even though you know horrible things is happening down here on Earth, the story mainly focuses in this space station. I thought that was pretty cool. Moving on to my negatives, and I only have two. I'll start with the soft one because I know this is more subjectory than anything else. But this is not a movie that I would watch constantly. The rewatch value is slim. Maybe I'll watch it once with my family, once it streams or gets out on Blu-ray, but that's about it. Going into this, I knew this wasn't going to be a movie that I was going to hoop and haw and rave about. It's just not something that you can jump into hoops over. To me, anyway. Now, I'm not trying to sound biased, but as much as I enjoyed this movie, as much as the aspects of the story and just the all-out tenseness of this, it's just not something that I'd watch all the time. I'm not really the target audience. Like I said, I will watch it a couple more times, maybe with my family, but then I'll probably take it to my grave after that. And for my last negative, the main character played by Ariana DeBose, I hope I said that name correctly, I didn't really get that much from her. Right off the bat, you find out that she has no friends, no family, nobody that she cares about down here on Earth, which kind of makes her a little dried out, just a little. Yeah, she acts like she cares about the people that she's working with up here in this space station, but the fact that she has nobody, no friends, no family to call, especially during this horrible time down here on Earth, it just, I don't know. I just don't really like that in a character trait. You got to give her something more for me to care. You got to show me that, okay, to give a character something, you got to get her to care for something as well. And I just felt like they kind of dropped the ball with that. It just made me not really cheer for her, even though she was the main girl, the main, character that you're supposed to cheer for. I didn't really feel that because of, just it showing that right off the bat. It would have been different if it showed it, at the end. Just keep that mystery going. Does she have anybody that's going through all this here, down here on Earth and all this chaos? But it doesn't. So it is what it is. Despite all that, this wasn't a bad little movie. It was actually pretty enjoyable. There's some aspects to it that I really did enjoy. It's just not something that I'd rewatch often, but I did enjoy it. But to be honest, I was on the fence. So, I.S.S. What was your thoughts on it? Have you seen it yet? Are you a fan of this? Is this your favorite space movie? Is this something that you got some enjoyment out of, or was this not for you? Was this just another dud? Leave me your comment down below and give me your thoughts. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this. I really do appreciate it. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. And make sure to click that bell icon so you don't miss a thing. I mean it. I will see you on the next one. Peace.